Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into a story that will shake you to your core. A story filled with secrets, lies, and an evil so hidden that no one saw it coming. This is the case that the world still whispers about, the crime that forced everyone to question what true evil really looks like. This is Unmasking Evil, the crimes that shocked the world. It all began in a quiet suburban neighborhood just outside of Manchester, England. A place where people left their doors unlocked, where children played in the streets, and everyone trusted each other. But behind one perfect-looking house on Alder Lane, something horrifying was unfolding. The house belonged to a man named Daniel Hargrove, a respected criminal psychologist. He was known for studying the minds of killers, profiling them, lecturing about them, even helping police solve cases. But no one could imagine that Daniel himself would become the monster he once analyzed. For years, Daniel had lived a quiet life with his wife, Laura. They looked like the perfect couple, successful, charitable, admired. But what no one knew was that Daniel had a secret obsession. He wanted to create the perfect crime. It started as research, or so he claimed. He spent countless nights studying unsolved murders, downloading crime scene photos, analyzing police reports. His colleagues thought he was just dedicated, but he was planning something dark, something that would make him infamous without ever revealing his face. In early 2023, strange things began happening around the city. Young women were disappearing, not from dangerous neighborhoods, but from safe, public places. A girl vanished outside a library, another from a grocery store parking lot. No ransom, no witnesses, no trace. The media called it the vanishing chain. Police were desperate, searching for any link between the victims. But the link wasn't out there. It was inside Daniel's study, stored in encrypted files under the name Project Hollow. Each file had a number, a location, and terrifyingly precise notes: time of abduction, psychological profile, method of control. Daniel had turned murder into an experiment. He wanted to test how far human fear could go before it broke. When the fifth woman vanished, panic spread through Manchester. Everyone locked their doors. Security cameras sold out overnight, and the police formed a special task force. Leading that task force was Detective Amelia Cross, a brilliant investigator known for never giving up. Amelia began piecing together patterns that others missed. She noticed that each victim had received an email from a fake psychology research survey before disappearing. The sender's IP address was masked, but one clue stood out: a hidden metadata, a tag referencing hollow mind research. It was subtle, but Amelia knew it was her thread to pull. She tracked the tag through digital forensics, leading her to an academic database used by university researchers. And among the listed users was Dr. Daniel Hargrove. At first, she didn't want to believe it. Daniel was a well-respected professional, often interviewed on news channels about the psychology of killers. But something didn't feel right. His interviews were too detailed, too personal, as if he knew more than he should. Amelia began surveillance on Daniel's movements. For weeks, nothing. He was careful, disciplined, almost robotic. Then one night, his car GPS led her to an abandoned industrial site on the edge of town. He parked there for hours, alone, in complete darkness. The next morning, the sixth victim was reported missing. That was all Amelia needed. A search warrant was issued, and the police raided Daniel's home. At first glance, the house looked ordinary, but when they entered his basement, they froze. It wasn't a basement. It was a psychological laboratory. The walls were covered in whiteboards filled with patterns, numbers, brain maps. There were soundproof chambers, hidden cameras, and dozens of monitors showing footage from the victim's final days. Daniel had recorded everything, Each screen told a different nightmare. Victims were locked in rooms, manipulated with fear, sound, and light, forced into psychological breakdowns. It wasn't about murder, it was about control. Daniel wanted to unmask the human soul, to see what happened when hope died. As the team stood in horror, Amelia found a folder labeled Final Test. Inside was a photo of her. Her name, her schedule, her habits. Daniel's final target was her. Before she could process it, a soft voice came from behind. "Detective Cross," Daniel said calmly, standing at the doorway. "You found me sooner than expected." He didn't run. He didn't fight. He simply smiled, that cold, empty smile of someone who believed he was smarter than everyone else. At trial, Daniel refused to speak. He represented himself and turned the courtroom into a lecture hall, explaining that he wasn't a killer. He was a truth seeker. He said evil wasn't something to fear, but to understand. The world watched in shock as he described his crimes like scientific achievements. The recordings he made became evidence. Hundreds of hours of torture, psychological manipulation, and human despair. No one could comprehend how a man of knowledge could become a man of such darkness. When the verdict was read, he smiled again. "Evil," he whispered, "wears a kind face." He was sentenced to life without parole, but the story didn't end there. Months after his imprisonment, police recovered a hard drive hidden in the ceiling of his basement. It contained names, dozens of them, victims never reported missing, locations never searched. The question arose, had Daniel worked alone? Some files were encrypted beyond police decoding, but one decrypted message sent chills through everyone who read it. Project Hollow lives on. It appeared Daniel had built a network, followers who admired his ideology, who believed in his concept of truth through fear. Across different forums on the dark web, investigators found users posting under names like Hollow Disciple and Mindbreaker. They referenced Daniel's lectures and shared images from his files. Even behind bars, Daniel's evil was spreading. He had become a symbol for others, a digital ghost teaching new monsters how to hide behind masks of normalcy. Detective Amelia, haunted by the case, left the force a year later, but she couldn't escape the nightmares. Every night, she saw the faces of those victims, the cold light of Daniel's lab, the walls filled with his twisted equations. She wondered if she'd truly stopped him or just exposed something far bigger, because even after Daniel's arrest, strange disappearances began again, not in Manchester, but across Europe. Same pattern, same signature, emails from Hollow Mind Research. Police launched another task force, but nothing led back to Daniel directly. It was as if someone else had picked up where he left off, smarter, faster, invisible. Today, the name Project Hollow has become legend among online investigators. Conspiracy theorists claim there are hidden videos still circulating. Some say Daniel communicates from prison through encrypted messages smuggled out by followers. Others believe the network has expanded globally. Whether those claims are true or not, one fact remains undeniable: the evil Daniel unleashed didn't die with his arrest. It evolved, it adapted, it learned how to hide in plain sight, behind normal lives and everyday smiles. When people hear the phrase unmasking evil, they often think of monsters, killers, faces of pure darkness. But the truth is far scarier. Evil doesn't always look evil. Sometimes it looks like a man giving a lecture. Sometimes it looks like your neighbor, your friend, your mentor. Evil hides behind intelligence, charm, and trust. And that's what makes it unstoppable. The story of Daniel Hargrove shocked the world not because of the crimes he committed, but because it forced us all to look inward. It reminded us that evil isn't something you can always see coming. It's something that grows in silence, nurtured by obsession, fed by curiosity, and unleashed when conscience dies. Even now, years later, Daniel sits in a high-security prison, expressionless, unremorseful, unbroken. Every time reporters ask him why he did it, he gives the same chilling reply: "I wanted to understand what makes humans afraid. I just never expected to find pleasure in it." And that perhaps is the scariest truth of all. The monster he studied was already inside him, waiting. The case of Daniel Hargrove remains one of the most disturbing and psychologically complex crimes in modern history. It's a reminder that even the brightest minds can fall into the deepest darkness. And sometimes evil doesn't need a mask, it just needs a motive. So the next time you hear a story that feels too shocking to be true, remember this one, because somewhere out there, someone else might already be planning their own version of Project Hollow. And maybe, just maybe, they've already started watching. If you found this story chilling and want more true crime mysteries like this, make sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe for more deep dives into the dark corners of the human mind. Until next time, stay safe, stay alert, and never stop unmasking the truth.